had this conversation with Bob Regnerus, and he brought up an old story I had told about being in Wisconsin with my 10-year-old son, and we were riding bikes together, and we were going down the hill, and the wind was in our face, and it was exhilarating. And I talked about how I remember, it made me remember being 10 years old, just how thrilling it is to have the wind in your hair and have all the scenery rushing by and the pavement rushing under you, and how the bike responds to every little movement that you make. And he said, well, Perry, you realize that you wrote that story a long time ago, but you ride your bike almost every day. Richard Koch rides his bike, and you've created this whole thing that you call Renaissance time around it. And I was like, yeah, well, now that you mention it, that's true. It's almost like a foreshadowing. And one of the things I've noticed over and over and over is that people get some of their very best ideas when they are in motion. One time I get a call from Jack Bourne, and he was my marketing manager. He's a brilliant guy, and he's a serial entrepreneur. He's doing lots of interesting things now. He called me up, he goes, Perry, I was out running, and while I was running, I had this great idea. And he sketched out the tactical triangle, which we've basically turned into the foundation of everything we teach. It's like the framework that everything hangs on. I think it's one of the most brilliant things I've ever seen. I think it's one of the most brilliant inventions in the history of marketing, honestly. But he came up with that while he was out running, and Jack likes to windsurf and do things like that. It's funny because a lot of marketers, a lot of online business people, they live in cubicles and they sit in front of a computer and they stare at a screen, and yeah, I know you're in cyberspace and that's kind of fun, but the irony is that we have a whole bunch of people in our community that, yeah, they do that, but they leave the house and they get on their bike, or they get on their rollerblades, or they go for a walk, or they run with their dog, or whatever, and it keeps them going, and it keeps them fresh, and it keeps them healthy too. I think this is actually a really essential success habit. Richard Koch uses it like, I'm Richard, I take all my problems, I load them into my subconscious mind, and I go ride my bike for 3 hours. And I go, well, somewhere that machinery back there, while it's whirring away, is going to solve that problem. So I'm just not going to worry about it right now. And some of the smartest and most successful people I know, that's how they solve their problems.